With technology the way it is right now, I feel that we're in a golden age of gaming, with the hardware specifically. Things like the Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Legion Go, Nintendo Switch, that's making gaming something you can do anywhere, anytime, in your increasingly more busy lifestyle where you just can't afford to be tethered to a couch or a PC in order to game. These things are great for me personally. I've always loved the idea of being able to play any game anywhere, anytime. GPU and CPUs are getting so advanced as well that these handhelds are more powerful than full blown consoles of the past. I mean, it's really just crazy. There's just two big things that completely ruin the experience of being able to game wherever and whenever you want in this new future, which I do believe is handheld gaming. The first one is DRM, and the second one is the fact that everything is now digital. Let me tell you the perfect example of why this is a long term problem. And yes, right now I'm reading, so if it sounds like it, I'm sorry. If you're around my age, then you might have had the luck of being able to buy a game on your iOS device called Infinity Blade, a $6 iOS game. At the time, this was one of the best and most console like games in the iOS store that was available for purchase. People were excited to be able to play such a console like game on their phone or iPad, including me. When my friend told me about this, we thought it was so cool. Like, it was the coolest thing ever. I used to ask my parents to take me to go get gift cards, and we would get a gift card for iOS, which Apple would always steal some of for some reason. That's one of the catalysts of me hating Apple. Anyways, aside the point, buy the game, and we had so much fun on it. At the time, the graphics looked really cool, and they were legitimately really good for how bad like mobile processors were at the time, right? Okay, so what's the point in me saying all this? What am I getting at? Well, that incredible game called Infinity Blade by Epic Games was just taken away from everyone who had spent their hard earned money on it in 2018. Why? Due to legal issues that led to Apple kicking Epic Games off the App Store. So a game that people bought and allegedly owned was simply just stolen from them and impossible to access. To this day, the only way you can play it, I'm pretty sure, is on an old iOS device. This is what's going to happen to your game library, even if you physically own it in the future at some point. Once the company stops supporting it with the DRM check ins and everything, that's what's going to happen with the game. Constant, always online check ins and digital only are the two things that are simultaneously putting modern day gaming in a golden era and also completely destroying its future, especially in terms of preservation. If PC had some way of making games physical again and also getting rid of constant DRM check ins, we wouldn't have to be worried about whether or not we'll be able to play our games in 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1000 years. Because as long as the device and the game are in working condition, the game is going to be playable. If you have a Wii right now and a physical game for the Wii, as long as all the hardware works and the actual physical game works, you have that until it either deteriorates into dust or you die or something, right? This is how most older consoles are. This is the current situation in gaming, and subscription services like Game Pass and or streaming are a complete Trojan horse to the preservation of video games. They're very much just short-term positives. If they become the standard, they will make the art form and the sport of certain games just temporary until the company behind them abandons it or just takes it away from you like EA did. Nintendo is the only console I'm aware of where you can just buy a game and then insert it into the device and play it with no extra BS, no DRM check-ins, no always you need to be online even though this game is exclusively offline. I mean, this is just that's our childhood. If you're around my age, that's literally how we grew up. That's how games were. Nintendo DS, Xbox 360 even, like all of that. That's how it used to always be. I didn't even have Wi-Fi at one point in my life. I could still play Call of Duty Zombies and play Call of Duty offline. I could still play almost any game I want as long as it wasn't required to be online for multiplayer. And even then, there was always an offline aspect and you had access to it. Nowadays, you don't even have access to it. You cannot even really go past the startup menu unless You do the stupid DRM check-in. Some games won't even open if you don't have Wi-Fi connected. It's just ridiculous. I mean, oh yeah, the Wii is another one. Remember the Wii? I think I already talked about that. So hopefully Steam goes with this route where you physical only, no DRM check-in, no online requirement with their Steam Deck. And I think what they could do is they could make it so there's like an SD card or something type thing. It could work with SD card readers where it holds maybe not even just one game. Maybe you can add a lot of games to it, or you buy them at the store or something. They get loaded on and you just have access to your games physically, and it'll always be on that card until that card gets deteriorated into dust, or your hardware can't run it anymore because it's so old that your grandkids are trying to start it up and it collected too much dust. Like, that's how this should be. Hopefully Steam goes this route with the Steam Deck, and it would bleed into all of PC gaming. It could just be an SD card that holds the game, or even multiple games, and just launches it from there, just like a console. No DRM BS, no requirement to be online either. That's my dream for the future of gaming. Just like this handheld stuff is so cool. This is what needs to happen. I mean, hopefully the community gets around to this. I don't know, man. Just all digital even scares me. Steam games, there's a lot of Steam games where, yeah, you don't need to be on Wi-Fi to access them. It's great. It's why I think I really want a Steam Deck now. But there's plenty of games where you do, and they're completely games that can be offline. Even Black Ops 6 is going to require you now to be online for, even if you're doing solo zombies. That's not new, unfortunately. But even now, if you want to do the campaign mode, they're going to require you to be online. And they came up with some BS excuse that it's because, well, you're going to get really good textures in HD quality because we're going to stream it to you. I don't care, dude. And I don't even believe that in the first place, because the game's going to be like 260 gigabytes or something. So I don't even believe that in the first place. But even if that is true, I don't care. I'll take a little quality hit to have it all on my device. Or make the game bigger. Make it HD textures optional like you did in Cold War. Like, what are we talking about here? It's just ridiculous. It's BS. It's so that they can make sure you're not pirating the game. And you should pirate the game anyway in GTA 5. I can't say in real life because, I don't want to support you doing illegal things. But if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. That's a quote. I forgot who I heard it from. This one YouTuber who always talks about piracy. Yeah, well, I'm out of time for this 70-minute drill. Please let me know what you think about this. Do you miss physical games? Also, do you end up pirating games because of all these annoyances? I don't really know too much about the world of piracy, but I'm going to start learning because this isn't worth it. And apparently pirating games actually gets around a lot of that nonsense. So just buy the game and then pirate it. That way you are actually not breaking the law. You actually have the game. And then now you can pirate it and actually preserve it a little better, right? So that sounds like the move. Let me know what you think, and peace out. So I called this a 70-minute drill earlier because what I did is I came up with this idea for the video, and then I gave myself 70 minutes to create the script and edit the video all in 70 minutes. I think I did it in about an hour and a half, so a little more than 70 minutes. But I like the idea. It made me not focus on little details and stuff. I got it from J. Cole, who says sometimes he'll go in the studio and give himself 7 minutes to write a verse and then spit the verse, and then just he'll be done with it after that. He won't obsess over it too much. He got that from the military, who actually runs 7-minute drills. It's a military thing. So anyways, I'm just explaining that at the end, really for myself, because I want to keep doing that. So yeah, peace.